All right, as you can see, the old windshield is out. I didn't record any video of me actually getting this out, but it was mainly just a lot of persistent cutting with this. Even once the kind of locking piece of the seal was removed, the front of the seal cut out, this was still, you can see how it was just kind of glued to the seal. So I just kind of stayed after it with this, just kind of cutting along, trying to free that up, and just worked all the way around and was able to just pop that out. So next up, before I can put the new windshield in, I've got to do some, gonna have to do some repair. Most of this, I mean, there's rust there, but it's still solid. I have to just kind of clean this up and see what that's like. But this here is definitely, there's a hole through. Unfortunately, this comes out a little bit past that edge there. I'm not a body person, so probably means taking this and finding somebody that can repair this for me. If it didn't come out all the way to this edge, I would be inclined to try and repair this myself, but the way that the seal sits in here, most of this is covered anyway, so I mean, if it wasn't perfect, it wouldn't really matter to me. But this comes out a little bit past where it's going to be pretty visible, so I want to make sure and have it done good. Next is I'm going to get this windshield frame out. I'm going to remove this so that I can begin this repair process and get a better idea if there's any more rust underneath there that I can't see. So from what I've seen, or from what I've read, it should be a fairly simple process. What I'll do is we'll get the hood open because I'll need to disconnect the wiring harness for the wiper motor. And then it appears that it's pretty simple to actually take this out. What I'll have to do, these two screws are already removed. Actually, let's see, I've got one there and one over there. So I'll take these screws out. I'll take these screws out here along the top. And then, I don't know, I may have to get the flashlight so you'll be able to see, but right back in here, there are two bolts. These are what actually bolt the windshield frame down. And then right here, here's another one. This is just an adjustment screw. My understanding is this should not have to be removed. This is just to adjust the angle of the windshield frame, just for proper alignment. So I'm gonna get that done and then I'll be right back. Okay, I put my windshield up here on the top. I'm trying to preserve that because there's a chance that I may have to have this as a pattern to get a new piece of glass cut. Currently I'm working with a guy that does specializes in auto glass, windshield replacement, chip repair and all that. And he's working with the people that supplies him with glass to see if he can get a windshield. But worst case scenario is we'll use this one as a pattern to have one cut. So that's why I'm trying to keep this intact. It's got some pretty bad cracks and stuff in it, but right now it's all one piece. So all right, now I'm hoping I can do this without having to move the top back. This top is steel and I think it's like 300 pounds. So if I can get this windshield frame out without having to slide that back, that'll be great. So I'm hoping that's what I can do. Based on what I've read, I should be able to do it. All right, so I'm gonna unplug the wiper motor harness right here. I may take this piece off just so that I can get in there a little bit easier. I don't know if it's required, but we'll do it anyway. I don't have any of the washer fluid hoses connected right now, so I don't have to worry about that. Dremel attachment. One thing, a lot of times on Scouts, you'll see that you'll have rust here will be bad. And that's because this hole right here goes right down in there. So I'm fortunate that I really had never parked under trees and such, but you get leaves and stuff falling down into here. That's exactly where it goes. So it'll all pile up in there and collect down at the bottom of the fender, and then you start to collect dirt, and it turns to mud and holds moisture, and it'll rot that out. So what I probably will do is maybe put some kind of screen right here. That way the water can flow through, but it doesn't let any debris down inside there. The grommets still fortunately pliable enough, so able to take that. I don't know if it can be reused, or let's just see on that. But all right, so now I'm going to go in, going to remove the bolts from the top. Let me show you with the flashlight. You can see those two bolts right there. That's what attaches the windshield frame to the body. Then this bolt right there going through, going up. Like I said, that's just that's to adjust the alignment of the frame. So shouldn't have to do anything with those. Ready to remove these. These have never been moved, or these have never been taken out since this thing was built that I know of. So let's see how. I could use another extension on there then. One thing I'll be careful of too is just being sure that you don't drop anything down there, because it's very difficult to get out. If you've got a magnet, you can get it out, but the problem is, I don't know if you can see that, but the hinge is in the way, so it makes it very difficult. So if you drop one of these bolts down there, getting it out is going to be a pain. You might be able to fish it out of there with a magnet, but you might have to take the door off too. Which that's also going to be an upcoming project too, is replacing these pins in the door, as they need it. So, another day though. And real quick, before anything is removed, let's just take a real close look and document kind of where everything is fitted. So that I'll know when I'm putting it back together kind of what to expect, what it should look like. Let's go around to the side. Same thing, just want to I have had this top off before, 2 times. Both times in the 90s. I was the first person to take it off too. I had to cut the seals to be able to do it. So all the bolts retaining this are out now. So I'm going to try and tip this windshield frame back. Now obviously you're going to have the doors open, so you don't have anything in the way here. I have to pull these seals off, and we'll see if this will actually come back. But let me get both doors open and propped open and get these seals out of the way, and we'll see what happens. And I'll point this out too, right here where these 2 pieces come together. It's got some kind of seam sealer type goop in there, so I don't really know how strong that's holding, but as you can see, got those bolts removed. So it should be ready to come out. So I've got it broke loose, and it's tilted back just a little bit. Let's see the old gasket in there. So it's tipped back just a little bit, but I don't think, based on the way this is in here, this is it right here where it goes into the body, and I just don't see being able to tip that back. It looks to me like it's gonna have to lift straight out. So yeah, I'm gonna have to, the next step is gonna be taking the interior panels off, unbolting the top and sliding it back so that I can lift this straight out. So that'll be, I'll carry that on in the next video. All right, so next step is going to be unbolting the top. I'll slide it back so that I can lift this straight up. And so far I'm really impressed with how easy it is. That's one thing I've always loved about this vehicle. It's super easy to work on. Parts, not always the most accessible, but it is extremely easy to work on. It's a shame that they don't make vehicles like this anymore. So, in a few days I'll do the continuation of this, and we'll get this frame out. Really anxious to look at the bottom of it just see, but hopefully it's all in good shape. It looks the same underneath as it does on top, with the exception of there in the inside that channel. But we'll see what we get, so we'll see you next time.